Hi friends, Mindy here. I have a little process video for you today. I am going to be covering this pocket Bible using the kit from Bythewell4God. It's a pocket journaling Bible kit. It comes with everything that you need to cover this little New Testament Bible and several different fabrics to choose from, accent fabrics and different things. The colorway that I chose this month is the Moda Junk Journal fabric. I love this fabric. I love every single piece of this fabric. So it was really, really hard to choose which one of these that I wanted to use. They do have several other colorways available. And if you do the Moda by Junk Journal collection, you'll even different varieties of the fabrics. So it was, like I said, really hard for me to pick. I kind of went back and forth a bunch of different times trying to decide, and I wasn't sure which pieces I wanted to use for the accent around the spine. I really loved this piece that was really colorful, but at least to my eye, it was like turned the wrong direction if I was to cover it. So I'm going to use it in another way. So just leaving this part in, I ended up deciding to just go ahead and start. Usually these journals or these little Bibles don't take me very long to cover, but I just was having trouble making up my mind about so many things. So the first thing I'm going to do is just use this little ledger kind of collage paper just to get my base layer down. And so I'm dry fitting this on here just to make sure I have everything kind of evenly spaced. I have these little clips. I got these in the grocery store in the automotive department. I get asked about them all the time, but anything would work. Paper clips even work. These are just what I have for my bookbinding, and so I use them a lot. I'm also using some cocoina glue. This is also available at By the Well. It's just a really good paste to use for a project like this because it's not going to seep through the fabric the same way a liquid glue would, and gives you a little bit of working time as well. So I am going to start with the back cover here, and if you've seen my channel before, you've seen me cover these a lot of times. I have, I think, a whole playlist of doing these. I love these little projects. They're quick, they're simple, but they're just really good. I like to do all kinds of different things with them. I've given them as gifts. I have use them for sermon notes or just special word studies or just all kinds of things. There's just a lot of ways that you can use these. They make wonderful gifts as well. And so I'm just going around. I went around the spine and added the adhesive. I'm just kind of working in little sections. Cocoina glue dries pretty fast, but you do have some open time to be able to kind of work things around. So I'm just going to hold those clips in place there just to hold the fabric while it dries just a little bit, and while I try to decide how exactly I want to do the rest of this cover. So I really loved this beautiful fabric. So I'm just trying to decide which section of this fabric I want to use. There's plenty of fabric in these kits. You get basically 2 big pieces. You could use either one to cover, and then several pieces that you can do like accents and different things with. And so this beautiful blue fabric that has the tickets on it, I want to use as kind of a second layering piece because I really just wanted to add all the fabric, but it's a little tiny Bible, so I couldn't do that. I had to kind of decide what I wanted to use. So I took this little piece of this blue fabric and I tore it down just so I'm going to have basically like the little bit of the edge of these tickets kind of poking out behind that other fabric. And so I'm just using that same cocoina glue stick. I'm just doing it right over the top of the fabric, and it's going to hold that in place. And then I'm going to kind of work around the spine. Now, normally this is not like the exact order that I would do this, but because I'm having so many layers, this is what I want to do. And I left in some of my struggle as well. I was a little bit on the struggle bus with this too, just in making decisions, and I kept getting glue everywhere and just all kinds of things. But I also was trying to get a raw edge on this fabric, but I didn't want to cut into it too much. And so I did struggle with getting that cut just a little bit. So I just made a little snip with my scissors and ripped the edge to get that kind of raw edge of the fabric. If you don't like that raw edge, then, use your scissors and don't do it that way. But I just like that kind of raw edge on there. And then I'm wrapping this around the spine and just kind of figuring out, trying to make it so that it's the same on the back side as it is on the front, that there's the same amount of fabric. And I had already glued it to the front for whatever reason. So when I went to tear the fabric, I pulled it up, which was fine because, like I said, that cocoina glue stick gives you a little bit of working time. So I just was able to reapply it, and then I glued all of that around to the backside of the spine. And then I'm going to add another piece of this blue ticket fabric here underneath on the backside as well to make it look the same on both sides, just kind of deciding how much of this fabric I wanted to show and which section of it. So I'm going to tuck this underneath there, and I'm going to do basically the same process and kind of finding out where I want it, and then I'm going to add here use the that same glue stick. And for some reason I have noticed with these cocoina glue sticks that, like, when you get to the end of them, they get a little bit like stickier than normal, like when you first start out. I don't know what that is or why that is, but this one, it was just, and it was kind of warm, and I don't know, it was super sticky. I was getting glue everywhere. So I do recommend keeping a baby wipe or a wet paper towel or something with you, because you will get this glue on your fingers, and then I'm getting all the little strings and everything. It was a struggle for this time. And then you can see me here, I'm just trying to make sure everything is nice and smooth down while I'm waiting for it to dry. And now I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to trim the corners off, not too close to the edge, but I just want to take out some of the bulk because these are rounded corners, and it just makes it a little bit easier to cover. So I'm just using my scissors here and trimming off some of that excess fabric. You don't have to necessarily, just for me, it makes it a little bit easier. And I am going to cut some triangles here at the beginning and the ending of the text block. I'm going to cut out some of this fabric so that it will wrap around the text block, and then I can put the excess part down into the spine. And I was, again, just struggling. Like my Tim Holtz scissors were not working, and then I'm using my Cutter Bee ones here, and they worked great at first, and then they stopped working, and I had to go to another pair of scissors. If you saw my husband's video where he did the hubby dub, he was talking about my scissors and the fact that I own multiple pairs of scissors. This is why. So I left this kind of in as a nod to that, because sometimes you just need different scissors. So you can see me here. I'm just struggling to get these little notches cut out. So I'm going to pull in another pair. This is incidentally another pair of Tim Holtz scissors, just in a different size. I think I may need to replace my big ones. But anyway, I finally got those little triangles cut out, and I can now proceed with wrapping the rest of this. So I'm going to start with the long side first, and I'm going to just apply that glue right to the cover. And then I'm going to go top and bottom. And so as I'm coming around the corner, I'm just folding it around and kind of pleating it around the corner, adding a little bit of glue as I go to kind of make sure that it sticks on itself. And don't worry about all the layers of fabric that I have, because I'm going to put my little clip there on the corner just to let that stay, make sure it stays down really well. And then I'm adding a little bit of glue on each one of those layers of fabric, and that's just going to hold that in place. I'm going to put a clip there to hold that. And then all of this will get covered up at the end when we put the end papers in. And everything you need for covering this Bible, except for the glue stick, is included in the kit. So it comes with the fabrics that you need. It comes with the end papers. Everything is perfectly cut. It comes with the little journaling cards to fill out and decorate. It comes with stickers even. And so really everything that you need to do this little project is all in this kit. And so it's one of the reasons why I just feel like it makes such a great gift. I have an idea in mind actually for this one already, but when I saw this fabric, I knew I had to get one of these. So I'm just doing the same exact process here, wrapping all of that around and putting my little clips in place. And then I'm going to do the same exact thing to the other side of the cover, starting with the long edge and then going to the top and bottom. So now I want to add the end papers in. Now, if you were wanting to add like a ribbon closure or something like this would be the time where you would want to do that before you put these end papers in. You would kind of glue them into the spine. I have been enjoying putting my closures on at the end after I kind of know how big and bulky my Bible's going to get. But if you wanted to add like some ribbon or whatever, this would be the time to do that. And then I realized I had forgotten to fold these little flaps down into the spine. And so I'm just using a really fancy paper clip that's opened up to do that. I do find it helpful to kind of push the spine back on itself, the cover, and that just opens up that area along the spine, and then you can just tuck the fabric right in there, and it's going to stay. I do add a little bit of glue, but I've never had that come out or anything like that. So it's just an easy way. You can just tuck it in. You can use a pokey tool or whatever you want to use, but the end of a paper clip works just perfect. So I am adding a little bit of deli paper here just to protect my my other pages. You could use just a sheet of paper or whatever. And then I'm just going to add the glue. I like to do the inner page here first so that I can make sure that I get it lined up nice and neat. Like I said, these pieces all come already pre-cut. So all you have to do is fold them and they will fit in here. And so I like to do that inner page first, make sure I get everything lined up, and then I'm going to add the glue to this section. And then as I am attaching this to the spine, I like to kind of stick my hand in there and kind of put my fingers down into the gutter and then bring the cover up to it. I just find that it gets it tighter into the gutter that way when I do it that way. So, and I'm just going to do the same exact thing to this other side, this other cover. Again, just kind of lining it up here first with that end paper, and then I will add the glue to the other side and then kind of make the cover come up to it. And I just really do suggest kind of pushing down into the spine. It really just does help get a really good crease in there. And there's no gaps that way. So, and you can see it's cut perfectly to fit in there. And then I'm going to leave my little clips on there to dry for a little while. And I wanted to use these other fabrics too, but I'm going to end up using these for my closure after I get everything, all my notes and things into this Bible. So I'm just going to set these off to the side for now. I wanted to use this fabric too, but there's just only so much space on these little Bibles. But I'm going to pull these off so you can kind of see what it looks like. And then I did off camera, I added one little thing that I'm going to show here in a second. I did add like a little book plate, and I put a label behind it that says Holy Bible. I just felt like it needed a little something down there at the bottom, and this is it. So if you like this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.